All right, let's go to the hotline and talk to our buddy Ty Harrington. Very familiar voice, but it will remind you that it's baseball season with the alumni game tomorrow. Ty will be on the call on the LHN app and the LHN coverage of the alumni game tomorrow. Ty, how we doing? Welcome to baseball season, my friend.
Well, good morning to you guys. Yeah, it's been a minute since the last time we got a chance to spend some time talking about college baseball, but it is here. I mean, we were in discussions yesterday with Coach Schlossnagle and some of the production side of what this weekend's going to look like, and the topic of the conversation quickly became about how big and just how exciting college baseball is today as compared to what it was in the 80s when I played to each year. It's just grown so much. When you start scrolling through social media and you start looking at different sources of media and how many people now have gotten involved with college baseball. So many things for it, shows like yourselves, radio, the live streaming has completely popularized college baseball, where now you can be at home on a Tuesday night, a Friday night, or obviously during the weekend and watch your favorite team or watch any team. And what that's done for college baseball and just how exciting and how powerful it is now, and how much fun it is to be a part of it. And we're getting closer to it each day.
No question. And Ty, as you mentioned, for folks who don't know, you did play in the 80s at Texas, coached for Coach Gus and recruited by Gus, and went to Omaha several times. But when you look at it now and you're there visiting with Schloss and the staff, can you even describe the changes in the facilities and the technology and all that they have for these players? It's pretty incredible, right?
It is incredible. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, look, there's an era. I was right in that gap when the data became such a big part of it. We all had TrackMan. We all had Repsado and different, ways to keep up technology-wise with your own players. But now you're able to keep up with so many, other players. And when you're, some of that's used through the, for the portal, and everybody has their own little mechanism now that they use, or platform that they use to try to choose players that are in the portal, and does it fit the way, they want things done metrics-wise, to being able to monitor your own players' bullpens, while they're gone, and because they can put it into, different technology pieces. So all of it has changed. And if you want to join in and be a part of that and make that an important piece of your program with that kind of technology and that kind of information out there, it's fun. I mean, it truly is exciting for coaches and everybody, players, recruits. And if you want to know how a program is, you want to see how a coach does things, you got all this at your fingertips from the data piece of it, but also on the TV, radio, and all the above to make your choice about where you want to play college baseball.
Yeah. And it's amazing. And you got to keep up with all these players. So, last year, this time you were on the call on LHN on the alumni game. And as I said earlier, a big 6'6" left-hander went out there and pitched against the alumni, Dylan Volantis out of California. And I remember listening to you and on the call, and you're like, man, this guy's got some stuff, man. He was mowing through the pros. And next thing you know, he's an elite All-American closer. You can see some of that stuff. And obviously, Dylan Volantis becomes a big fixture of this team, whether he's going to start or close. You remember, what were your memories of seeing Dylan climb the mound for the first time and kind of open your eyes to what he could be?
Well, let's start with the beginning of when he rolled out there. The physical side of being that big. And I think what the original plan was, if I remember right, was we're going to get him out there and get him on the mound and let him get used to what it's like to pitch here, at the University of Texas. I remember the weather was great that year. There's a great crowd there as there normally is. And so, but he rolled out there and you could see the downhill angle on his fastball, and you could see that, he was able to throw strikes, even in, a moment like that he's never experienced, right? You prepare for it, but he'd never experienced pitching in that kind of stage yet. And he just absolutely stepped right into that moment. And it was like he was meant to be there. This is what I do. This is who I am. And it presented itself on the mound. And then the stuff as the year went on, and even that day, the first day, and then as the year kept going, I mean, he could just pull his breaker out of the clouds.
Yeah.
And as a hitter, trying to match up where you're going to make solid contact with that baseball at that angle with that big of a break to it is really a challenge, obviously, for those hitters. And now going into this year, you know, I know he's added a changeup to his repertoire. He's added another pitch or two here and there and he's just, his confidence of command is so vital. You know, the tools are there. There are guys like him that have these kinds of tools, but his confidence of command is absolutely through the roof. And as a young 18, 19-year-old young man last year, to go out and capture the last 3 outs of a game, 6 outs of a game, because people can say what they want. We don't lay in bed and dream about the home run we hit in third inning. We lay in bed thinking about the home run, dreaming about the walk-off home run in the ninth inning. Well, the same goes for pitchers. The ninth inning is a game in itself, even beyond the 8 innings before. And for that young guy to go out there and just nail down game after game after game, it became a luxury that Texas was basically playing a 7-inning game or an 8-inning game when he was rolling out there. So to answer your question, the stuff has been unreal, but his confidence and his ability to get out there and operate on that mound in big moments is incredibly impressive.
Coach, talk to us about, these guys on this team. It's hard to predict, an experience like that where Volantis kind of was eye-popping there, like, whoa, this is going to be some good stuff from him. We could see, and it was. But talk to us about a few other names on this team that might be like that are ones to watch out for we haven't been talking about.
Well, they've got a bunch of brand new arms that are going to go out there. And I think that, when you start talking about Higgins and Cozart and Rumble, a lot of these freshman names that are new to the program, tomorrow's a great day for them and a great moment and a great opportunity for the coaches because they did have a chance in the fall to play Tech at Round Rock, which was incredible, by the way. It was 5,000 people at a fall game. That's just fascinating to me. And then they had another fall game. But the reality is, now everything starts to change. Your heart rate starts to get up. So these young guys tomorrow in the alumni game is an unbelievable opportunity for these guys and the coaches to see how they react to it, particularly the young pitchers, McKernan and Higgins. So these guys, they're going to get their chance tomorrow to take a deep breath. They're going to get their moment tomorrow, like Volantis had last year, to see what it does to their heart rate, to see if they can, manage their command. In moments like this with the X's coming back and guys that are playing professional baseball, names that they're going to recognize, right? They came up through the recruiting process. A lot of these guys are going to be playing against. And so it is an opportunity for them to, as a dress rehearsal, to get excited and to get out there and perform in front of the UT crowd.
No question. And we'll see what kind of crowd it is. It's going to be cold, so if you are going to the game tomorrow, it'll reach a high temperature of 43 tomorrow, but that tells you when the game starts about noon, it won't be there yet, and the wind's going to be coming out with the wind chill. So dress warm. Should be a fun game. It's the alumni game tomorrow with the doors opening at 10 and the autograph sessions and then the game itself. Ty Harrington will be on the call on the LHN app and the LHN coverage. But, Coach, to Noah's point, I'm looking at this is a deep team as far as they got a lot of names. The fans will remember, obviously, Dylan Volantis and Luke Harrison, the left-hander. Jason Flores, the hard-throwing right-hander, is back, along with Cade Bing and Thomas Burns and Max Grubbs, Ruger Riojas. But as you said, all the new arms that have come in. And then on the positional side, fans know Ethan Mendoza and Adrian Rodriguez and Casey Borba at first base, Jonah Williams. But there's a lot of transfers that have come in at the positional side as well. An Aiden Robbins in center field and a Timo Becerra from Stanford, names that are going to be in competition. When you've talked to Coach Schloss, I saw a quote from him where he said, this is starting to look like the type of roster I want, right? Big and physical and athletic and deep. What are you hearing from Coach Schloss about his optimism of this lineup in 2026?
Well, just what you just described. Look, they're incredibly athletic. And one of the things about Coach Schloss, and they go over his career, the strength conditioning part of his program has always been huge. And so the athleticism and the physicality of his team now is starting to, you heard him say, starting to look like the roster he wants to put together. And they are. They're athletic. So if you take, Borba is now going to move over to first base, right? He played third base last year. If you take Timo Becerra, you mentioned the transfer from Stanford, played short, played third. Aiden Rodriguez has played second. He's played third. Now he's going to play short again, which is his natural position. All these people can go and interchange and play different places. That describes the athleticism behind these guys. It describes the type of players that they've gone out and recruited and that they feel like that they can go capture, championships and make deep runs and then compete in Omaha with this type of athleticism, because along the way, you're going to get clipped with a handful of injuries. I mean, it just happens. I mean, baseball's not as physical sport, obviously, as football, basketball, but the reality is you have to deal with injuries as you go along. And this athleticism allows you to match up right, left hitters as games go on, being able to plug in different people at different moments. But the biggest thing to me is their physicality and their strength. It can run, they can hit with power. And one thing over time that Coach Schlossnagle has done an incredible job with is the number of pitches that their players are going to see throughout the season, and being able to get into counts, being able to take walks, being able to, correctly swing at the pitches that they can hit and they can drive. And so all that physicality and that speed and that athleticism now gets to be used, at a higher level. And I tell you, it's going to be exciting when you look at Carson Tenney's going to go out there tomorrow, the transfer from Notre Dame, who's got some great, tremendous power as well. As pitching's gotten better as the fall's gone on and the spring's gone on. And so tomorrow will be like the opening of the bottle cap of being able to see what this is going to start to look like and start to form out to be. But I can hear it in the excitement of the staff and the excitement of everybody around the program, the depth on the mound, the athleticism and the position players. And look, when you can run and you can hit and you can put all these things together, that means you can score regardless of what the elements are like. You have an opportunity to score. Wind's blowing in, you can run. Late in the game, if you got a guy that's got a power breaker but long to the plate, you got guys that can steal second or steal third, whatever. So there's different forms of offense and different ways to win a game. And it sounds like they put an athletic team out here that's going to be heading out there tomorrow that's going to have a chance to be able to score regardless of what the weather in the ballpark looks like.
I should have mentioned Carson Tenney. As far as additions, Carson Tenney's an All-American catcher from Notre Dame. Right. The kid Aiden Robbins, who's probably going to play center field, batted .420 plus at Seton Hall. Timo Becerra from Stanford, in addition to the returning guys, including Jonah Williams, who everybody's excited to see in his second year. Ty, real quick, wrap this up with this. When you say, because I can hear fans asking the question, okay, they're big and athletic, but they're physical. When you're from a baseball coach's side, what does a physical baseball team mean?
Well, I mean, it's like anything else. When you walk in and you see how physical and how athletic, that means they're strong, they're physical, their body size. They're not just massive people. They're athletic, muscle out looking, physical, strong guys. You watch out for them. You guys go out, you fans go out. A great example. Ethan Mendoza, who I think is 15 pounds bigger than what he was a year ago, but it's 15 great pounds. It's 15 pounds at his muscular. It's not going to change his approach as a hitter, but certainly the velocity coming off his barrel is going to change. And it's going to increase because he's now able to apply mass behind the barrel and strength behind it to get the ball to obviously carry further. So you'll recognize that they look bigger and stronger, and that's what they start to mean about the physicality. If you're going to be little in this game, then you better be able to, run like crazy and be able to steal bases and to create opportunities to get on base. But the physicality of this team you look at what they look like when they come out in uniform, you'll recognize it.
Yeah, you'll see what you're talking about. And the other team does too. God dang, those are big dudes over there. All right, so there it is. Ty, looking forward to it. I was listening last year when you started talking about Dylan Volantis and piqued my interest, and we all got to watch him. We'll watch this tomorrow. And if you're at the game or watching or listening with the LHN app and Ty Harrington, and we're going to visit with Ty throughout the year. We'll tell you about a podcast that Ty and I are putting together to talk college baseball in the SEC. We're excited about that in the month of February. So you're going to hear a lot of Ty here with us on Game Time. Thank you, my friend. Have a good call tomorrow.
Thanks,
Stay
Ty.
warm. Stay warm, my friend.
Buckle up. It's college baseball time.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Ty Harrington. There you go. Big and physical. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see this team.
Schlossnagle team, right?
Can I read you a tweet from a great follow on Twitter if you're a Longhorn fan? It's Horn Sports, at Horn Sports. They are always posting great stuff. And they were putting their season primer together, and they said they counted as many as 18 pitchers. Wow. 18 arms that Texas can run out there, and depth in the pitching staff, depth in the positional players, and a good mix, I think, for Texas of experienced guys like Carson Tenney coming in from Notre Dame, a 4-year player.
Yeah.
Been to the College World Series.
Sure.
Timo Becerra, Stanford.
Right.
Aiden Robbins was an elite player at Seton Hall last year. I mean, these are to go with Adrian Rodriguez and Jonah Williams and Ethan Mendoza, who he just said is 10, 15 pounds stronger. Casey Borba is back. So really nice mix, plus deep on the pitching staff. Fun team to watch. There's a reason why they're ranked third in the D1 baseball preseason rankings, but that's his potential. Can they put it together? It starts tomorrow with Coach Schloss in year 2. And to the point of the roster he wants it to look like, if you've covered Coach Schloss, you know what his TCU teams look like.
Right,
you know what A&M look like.
Physical, whatever. Yeah,
big,
exactly.
deep, and athletic. And
Right.
that's why TCU was so dominant for so long and going to Omaha. And same with A&M in the short time he was there. And now year 2 of Texas, an opportunity.